Hi, I'm Kash with KSAC News, and today I'm interviewing Brianna McCullough, who is the Executive Director of the Kailee Mills Foundation. So, tell us a little bit about what made you become passionate about seatbelt safety.
I'm actually Kaylee's aunt. So when Kaylee passed away, it's been over 7 years now. She, we, her dad, David Mills, really just couldn't figure out if what happened to her and her crash was a freak accident or
Mm-hmm.
if it was something that was a big problem that needed to be addressed.
Yeah.
And so, days after she passed away, he just started doing a lot of research about seatbelt safety and how many people are really dying from not wearing their seatbelt. And in that research, he discovered that it's actually a really, really big problem that's not being talked about enough. And so, our family just kind of got together and said, okay, well, let's do something about it. 3 days after the crash, he was driving by the roadside cross, and there was about maybe 100 to 200 of her friends all at her cross,
Wow.
really just praying and figuring out, you know, what happened and just really having a hard time dealing with that. And he just felt the need to stop and talk to them. And he used that opportunity to not only pray with them, but to talk to them about the importance of seatbelt safety and how in a split second your life can be taken away and what that does to your family.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came back and just said, we have to do something about this. Her legacy was bigger than just what she accomplished in 16 years. And so what can we do to reach kids? And her being my family, that passion came naturally. And then what we've been able to witness and the impact that we've made since then
Yeah.
has created a passion like I could have never known.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Tell us about your foundation and what it does.
Yeah. So the Kaylee Mills Foundation initially started as seatbelt safety awareness, really talking to kids. And initially, we thought it would just be a scholarship program.
Mm-hmm.
And it became so much more than that. So the schools started to reach out and wanted us to come and do a safety talk about seatbelt safety with the
Mm-hmm.
kids. And so once we did a couple of those, we realized, wow, this is making a tremendous impact. We
Yeah.
need to keep doing this. And so it started with seatbelt safety awareness in the community, seatbelt safety presentations in schools, and scholarships. And then about 6 months later, we also discovered that there were other families that needed help, other families in the same situation that we were. And we were fortunate enough to have a lot of support from friends and family in the community. Not everyone has that.
Yeah.
And so there was another girl that died in the same way that Kaylee did, and her family didn't have that support. And so at the time, we didn't have a lot of funds to be able to help, but we did what we could and we helped them financially with funeral expenses
Wow.
and just trying to help them get back on their feet. And through that first assistance, we realized we need to have a program for this. So then came our family assistance program, where we
Yeah.
provide financial and emotional assistance for families that are experiencing tragedy from vehicle crashes, whether there was a loss or not. We help with funeral expenses,
Mm-hmm.
medical costs, grief counseling, and just emotional
Wow.
support.
Yeah.
So we have our seatbelt side and we have our family assistance, and
That's
then we
cool.
have our scholarships, which are also safety driven.
Yeah. That's really cool. What are some statistics that you think might be important to share?
Yeah. So for teens, I think the message is so critical. It's the number one, vehicle crashes are the number one killer of
Yeah.
teens. And nearly 60% of those fatalities were because they weren't wearing a seatbelt.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine how many thousands upon thousands of lives would still be here today if they had just been buckled up.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the most important one for
Mm-hmm.
teenagers.
Yeah, that's crazy. Looking at your website, I saw the seatbelt awareness events tab.
Yeah.
What exactly are these events, and how can we attend them or
Yeah.
yeah.
So we do a part of our seatbelt awareness program outside of just schools. We'll do what we call awareness events, which are events in the community, whether that be some kind of safety event, a corporate event, or a school event, where a lot of people are gathering. We'll set up a booth. We even have our what we call the Kailee car, which is a replica of Kaylee's crash. It's a really, really powerful
Wow.
visual that we can take that makes a tremendous impact. And so we'll bring that as well, and we'll hand out a lot of seatbelt safety materials and things for people, things for kids and things for adults, to just be a reminder of how important it is to buckle up.
That's cool. What would be your message to the teens who are going to watch this?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of myths about seatbelt safety. Some people think they're safer in the back seat, or we're just going down the street, we don't need to buckle up, or we're just going really slow on a side road, things like that. And all of these things existed in Kaylee's crash. She was 500 yards from her house. She was only going a mile away. She was in the back seat, and they were on a 30-mile-an-hour side road. And it only took her removing it just for a second that took her life. And so my message is to buckle up no matter how far you're going, how slow you're going, whether you're in the back seat, front seat, it doesn't matter. It takes 2 or 3 seconds to put it on, and it can save your life.
Yeah, I think like even I've heard people say like, oh, we're just going to the neighbor's house, like no need to buckle up, or like we're not going far, or like unbuckle to switch seats. And I think about how many times I've done that, and like, it's just crazy that that quickly is how it happened, and that like could be it for us. So
yeah, Kailee was in the back seat. They were actually all buckled, and she took it off for a second to slide over and take a photo with her friend. And it was in that exact second that he just was going too fast around a curve, and that's all it took. And everyone else in the vehicle was still buckled, and they all survived with some scratches and bruises. Yeah. So it's, now you can remind your friends when they're in the car with you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I think we got everything, and thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.